Hello, I am in Haarlem, Netherlands. Welcome. I just came back from Europe and Haarlem was one of my favorite places. In this video, I'm going to share with you why I liked Haarlem so much. We'll talk about history, culture, food, and general feel of Haarlem. That and much more in this video. Haarlem is quintessentially Dutch at all levels, known for its charming canals, delicious stroopwafels, and a chill yet vibrant atmosphere. It strikes the perfect balance between small-town charm and urban energy. A refreshing and much-needed change of scenery after spending a few days in big, busy, touristy Amsterdam. Even older than Amsterdam, Haarlem is teeming with history, built up with stunning brick architecture and a timeless feel that I immediately fell in love with. So where is Haarlem? It's super conveniently located. It's just a half an hour train ride from both Amsterdam and Amsterdam Schiphol Airport, making this an easy to get to destination and a rewarding day trip. Our walk into town from the train station is quick and scenic. We get to town square in about 20 minutes. Haarlem's old town is small, less than a kilometer across. At the heart of Haarlem is the charming town square. Lined with bricks on all sides and a large church dating back to 1307, this spot is a gathering place for people for centuries. Locals call it Grote Markt, simply translating to Grote Markt, and the church, Grote Kerk, Kerk meaning church in Dutch. Grote Kerk is Haarlem's main church, founded over 700 years ago as the city's Protestant church. Architecturally, it is known for its stunning stained glass windows, a nod to Haarlem's legacy as one of Europe's leading centers for stained glass production in the 1500s. Inside, you'll find a massive organ dating back to the 1700s. Many classical musicians played this same organ, including Mozart himself when he was just 10 years old. Today, you can see professionals play this organ a few times a week, and these shows are open to the public. You can find the times online. In a country where most of the land is below sea level, canals become the de facto superhighways. Haarlem sits on a narrow strip of high ground surrounded by canals, protected from North Sea storms, making the city a prosperous gateway for trade. It's been like this for over 1,000 years. Some of these trading routes date back to the 9th century. Today, trains and trucks replace barges here, but canals are still full of life, and you'll see most of the locals hanging out here. Many of the city's main bike paths follow old trading waterways, making them packed during commute hours. The best dining areas in Haarlem are also built around canals. And even though the weather is mostly gray, a lot of restaurants put out outdoor dining for patrons to people watch and enjoy the canals. A perfect way to enjoy Haarlem is simply to grab a coffee at a local cafe, ask for a stroopwafel, or sit down for some brunch and soak it all in. There is a canal for everyone, and some canals are lined with green spaces and parks perfect for a book and an afternoon stroll. For a more bustling scene, head to the Sparna Canal on the city's eastern side for great dining options and cool coffee shops. A famous landmark along the Sparna Canal is the De Adriaan windmill. This windmill is from the 1700s and served as an industrial windmill powering a cement plant. Today, the windmill itself is preserved as a museum and the area around it is open to the public. Near the windmill is the city's old gate. This is when the city was within the confines of its city walls. Of course, the city expanded and the walls are now just decorative. But the city had been invaded several times in the past few centuries, ruled by the Spaniards during the siege of Haarlem in the 1500s and by the French in the 1800s. Another thing I really enjoyed during my visit was exploring residential areas and walking down side streets. While residential areas in most cities are kind of dull, local residents put a lot of effort into making their tiny gardens very beautiful. This really highlights the attention to detail people have here in Haarlem. Look at the amount of bikes here, whereas in other places there would be cars. The town is so small it's easy to get around by bikes. The old city is very dense, and anywhere else you can use public transportation and bring your bike aboard. Some locals even park multiple bikes in multiple locations. A lot of people in the Netherlands own multiple bikes. They might have a bike at the place they work, so they can take the train to the place they work and bike in the city that they're working in, and have a bike back home so they can commute in their hometowns. While the city is peaceful today, Haarlem has been invaded by multiple nations in its 1,000-year history. In the 1500s by the Spaniards, in the 1700s by the French, and during World War II by the Germans. Today's buildings in Haarlem preserve its history. Facades on the outside are required to be old, but the inside of buildings are very modern. While walking around the canal, we discovered another church. Exploring the southwest corner of Haarlem's Old Town, we come across the Roman Catholic Cathedral of St. Bavo, a stunning and often overlooked landmark. This cathedral was built after Haarlem's main church, which we toured earlier, was converted from Catholicism to Protestantism during the Reformation. Construction of this cathedral took several decades. Groundbreaking began in 1895, but it wasn't completed until 1927. Aesthetic-wise, I found the cathedral very pleasing to look at. It has this grand, almost voluminous and round appearance to it. Another cool building we saw was the old prison that was closed in 2016. Today it is used to house asylum seekers. In terms of lodging, staying in the center inside the old town is going to be more expensive but more convenient. Or you can save some money but have a little bit longer of a walk, about 20 to 30 minutes away from downtown square, if you opt to stay outside of the city wall historic area. And if you're staying in Amsterdam, you can just take the train in and come in for a day trip, which is a great option. You might notice the style of architecture is very different than Amsterdam, and there is a reason for that. Haarlem was founded centuries before Amsterdam was. In the time when Haarlem was built out, there's a lot more focus on local growth and building buildings with high quality materials. But Amsterdam was different. Amsterdam was founded during a period of Dutch expansion, when the Dutch was focused on overseas growth and founding colonies. Therefore, a lot of money wasn't spent on building locally, and buildings were built with simple building materials but with nice facades. So in Amsterdam, to save costs, a lot of builders focused on building a nice front facade facing the canals, but the rest of the building was quite simple. If you're looking to see museums, the city has a great website for a list of museums you should see. I'll put those in the link below. But if there was one museum you should see while you're in Haarlem, that would be the Frans Hals Art Museum. In the 1600s, after the Dutch gained independence from Spain, art in the Netherlands began to move away from religious themes and instead focused on wealth and status of the merchant class. Artist Frans Hals emerged as a leading figure in this new artistic direction. His portraits focused on still lives and adorned the homes of wealthy patrons who hired him to paint. Often, his paintings were featuring the patrons themselves in a dynamic and expressive style. His early work captured a sense of movement and spontaneity in scenes, while his later pieces shifted towards more formal portraits that emphasized the prestige and social standings of his subjects. I hope you enjoyed this video of Haarlem in the Netherlands. If this video convinced you to come visit, helped you with your trip planning, or just gave you some fresh ideas, or you found this video interesting, please be sure to add a like and subscribe to my channel for more travel content like this. See you guys on the next trip. Thanks again for watching.